I'm going to show you how to make the free Christmas pudding coaster from Kreative Kiwi, and for that I'm going to be using a 4x4 hoop, 2 layers of washaway stabiliser, masking tape, my squizzers, each of my threads have got a matching bobbin, some cord for a hanger, my batting and fabrics cut to size. Start off by hooping your washaway stabiliser. So place it down over the bottom hoop and insert the middle hoop into that. And I like to pin around the edge so that it keeps my stabiliser nice and taut in the hoop. Don't tug on it, you don't want to stretch it. Now that that's done, you're going to pop your hoop into your machine and stitch round number 1, and that's going to give you your placement outline for your batting. Place your batting over the outline and then tape it in place. Pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 2 to secure it. You're now going to trim up your excess batting from around the edge. Turn your hoop over and you're going to place your backing fabric for the bottom of the Christmas pudding over the outline, and then you're going to tape it in place. Turn your hoop back and now you're going to do exactly the same for the front, so over this area here. Pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 3 to secure it. You're now going to trim up the excess fabric from both the back and front of your hoop, so turn your hoop over. Pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 4, and that's going to zigzag the raw edge of your fabric. You're now going to add the next fabric, which is the top of the pudding. So turn your hoop over. Place your fabric over the back and tape it in place. Place your front fabric over the outline and tape that in place as well. Pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 6 to secure it. Now you will want to change your matching bobbin and thread to white or whatever colour you want for the top of the pudding here. You're now going to trim up the excess fabric from around the top of the pudding, both back and front of your hoop. So turn your hoop over. You're now going to pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 7, and that's going to zigzag around the raw edge here. Make sure you've got a matching bobbin and thread in, because next you're going to stitch round number 8, and that's going to do the satin stitching around the edge of the top of the pudding. Okay, here's for the whoops moment. I forgot to place my hanger over the outline after the first round of stitching and tape it in place before I put the batting on. That would have prevented it from poking through when I put the fabric on here. So I've got a couple of choices. I can either use something less bulky like some ribbon, tape that in place there, and nobody's going to know that it was ever destined to be cord, or I can place my cord down, tape it in place, put some more batting over the top, stitch the next round, which is round number 9, and that will be my fabric placement for the berries on top of the pudding. Then I can trim up the batting afterwards, and then when I go to put my fabric on, I'd stitch round number 9 again to secure it. So there's plenty of options if you do make a mistake. I'm terrible at forgetting to put the hangers on, I'll be honest there. Okay, so I think I'm going to go show you the second option. So I'm going to place that down, put my tape over the top, place my batting over the top of that, and tape that in place too. And now I'm going to stitch round number 9. And now I'm going to trim up the excess batting from around the edge of the stitch line. And for goodness sake, don't cut your cord off. I'm going to leave the tape in place. So now we can carry on as before. I've set my machine back to round 9 because that's going to be the fabric stitched down round. So I'm going to turn my hoop over, place my fabric over the back of the berry outline, and then tape it in place. Turn it over and now do the same for the front. Pop your hoop back into your machine and stitch round number 9 to secure them. You're now going to trim away the excess fabric from both back and front of your hoop. So turn your hoop over. Load your matching bobbin and thread for the berries into your machine, and then you're going to stitch round number 10, and that's going to zigzag around the raw edge. You're now going to stitch round number 11, and that's going to do the satin stitch around the edge of the berries and then the top stitching afterwards. You're now going to free your pudding from the hoop, so turn your hoop over and carefully trim around. If you've put a hanger on, be careful not to cut it off. You're now going to remove the excess stabiliser from around the edge, so some warm water in a cotton bud, dip it in and just run it round the edge. And that's our Christmas pudding, coaster or ornament finished. I hope you enjoyed this stitch along. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new videos as they're published. Do pop along to Kreative Kiwi's Facebook group. There's always lots of ideas and inspiration there for everybody. And thank you very much for joining me.